the TVT records at the time. And I had used something really popular. It was a real popular sample. And it didn't come out. Some shit. Man, you're going to drain my brain right now.
That's all right.
Like hit or miss shit. Oh, well, we kind of, the original song, Gave Me Power, Nas, we did the original beat for it. But what happened, Nas ended up not working with the same lawyer that we had anymore. He ended up leaving Scott Felcher, and that whole shit just fell apart. So that would have been Platinum Big, Platinum Nas. It would have just been like, it would kind of like trickle down into some other shit. So we missed that by like a relationship. I was like, God damn it. What the fuck? Not that Gave Me Power was not a good joint, but our beat, Ezo knows our shit was just a little bit better than that. It would have changed the song. Not that it wasn't a good song, though. Shout out to Nas.
You also did 3 classic joints on Ready to Die. How did they reach out to you to produce on Ready to Die by Big?
It was an indirect baton handoff. What I mean by that is Mr. C gave me a call about this kid, which happens to be Biggie. After he had saw that I was in the Unsigned Hype, I had an artist, which was my homeboy, my bro at the time, was Sir Essence Don. And he ended up getting signed to like Freeze Records, Priority, or whatever. And what happened was he saw that we was in Unsigned Hype. So Mr. C called me. He got my number from Ace. He called me and said, yo, look, how do I get, in the Unsigned Hype? I got this artist. Like I said, I didn't know him, didn't know his name, I didn't know nothing. But all I knew was Matty. I knew Matty C. So I would just be like, yo, Matt, need you to listen to some shit. And he was like, yo, you know him? I was like, yeah. I told him I knew him. I lied and shit. So, but I know he was going to do it if I told him. And at the time, it's like, it's Mr. C. It's like, it's Big Daddy Kane's DJ, bro. It's like, that's kind of like royalty. So who wouldn't want to try to help Mr. C? So at them times, I did. So I told Matty I knew him. So Matty ended up listening. To make a long story short, I ended up listening to the shit. It was big. Then Matty goes, well, being that I told Matty I knew him, I used to leave fucking cassette tapes up at the Source with Matt all the time. Like, these were my favorite tapes back then, the Denon tapes. I used to get 100-minute Denon tape and just put mad beats on it and just lead the shit with Matt. So after all of the shit went through with Big started hanging out with Matt a little bit. So he came up to the office one day and Matt told him, he said, yo, I got some beats from your man. Still don't know I don't know him. He doesn't know that I don't know Big yet. So he telling him that. And then 2 of the shits, which was One More Chance and Me and My Bitch, originals was on that tape. Big took the tape from the office and called me. He said, yo, give me his number. I don't got it. But Matt still not knowing, I don't know him. He's just saying it like regular, like, yo, give me his number because I don't got it. I'm going to hit him up and tell him I want these 2 beats or whatever. Right. So he ended up calling me. The rest was history. I told him, yo, this shit ain't even finished, bro. I just did them shit so I could rap on it just to change the complexity of what I was doing. He was like, I don't care. I want it. The rest was history. It started out with those 2. We was the rest. We was, me, us and Easy Mo B was like the first 2 producers on the album.
Were you able to sit in on those sessions?
From day one, we was there.
Take us back to some of those best memories of seeing him rhyme over some of your beats.
Well, to be honest, we didn't really see him. We just heard his voice because he used to be in the booth with the light out. Because you really wouldn't even see him. First of all, I don't even know how the fuck he would sneak in there. Because we'll be in the control room eating, smoking, whatever, and then we just hear, yo, turn my headphones up. What the fuck is that? Like, well, how do you even get in there? Like, how do you sneak a 6'3", 6'4" ass nigga past you to get in the booth? Like, how the fuck did that even happen? We wasn't paying attention that much, but see, then I thought about it. To enter the booth in that studio we was at, I think we was at shit, where the fuck he was at? Whatever that shit is on 50 something in the city. Forgot the name of that shit now. Whatever. But we was there, and you go in the booth from the outside of the control room, not inside. So then I realized that, yeah. So that's how he was able to do it. But it was like I was there for the full session of One More Chance and Everyday Struggle. Not Me and My Bitch. I wasn't there for the full session of that.
Okay.
But you know, to hear what when you making a beat, you don't really have nobody in mind. But then when you hear what the artist, what his brain came up with from listening to that particular track, with his imagination, what he imagined for that shit, some of the shit you probably wouldn't even think that somebody, you'd be like, yo, you might not even like that beat yourself, but it's not for you, bro. Like, everything ain't for you. So once I realized that shit, that everything wasn't for me, I started to think like outside of that shit. And like, yo, another artist may have a whole nother vision of some shit that I ain't even thinking about. So when I started thinking like that, it changed on how I started making tracks. I stopped thinking about only making shit for me, because everything I was doing, I be wanting shit for me. I wasn't trying to share shit. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Digga's not sharing nothing. If I get it before you, you might not get it. So
Right.
I try my best. I try my best to I tell niggas, look, don't send me no shit that you don't want me to rhyme on, because I might not give it to whoever you want me to give it to. You be like, yo, son, yo, send this to whoever. I'm not. I might not. You might have to make something else. I'll be like, yo, I'm taking that shit for me, bro. I'm not sending that to nobody.
Right.
Like, fuck that, bro. That ain't even happening. But I choose to now. I'm more selective now with certain shit that I do. So you might be able to swindle a beat out of me or two that I didn't use yet. I don't even produce no more. I don't have to. I'm lazy. I don't do shit. But right. So it makes it a lot easier for me now. See, before I had to worry about making a beat, thinking of the chorus, doing all of this other extraneous shit. I don't do that no more. I place phone calls. I feel like an executive producer that does nothing. Like, I don't touch no buttons. I just touch the phone buttons and just dial and be like, yo, bro, I think we should chop up this. I think we should loop this at 1 minute and 15 seconds in. You know, shit like that.
Right.
Which I feel I should have been doing this all the time. Like, I should have never touched no machines. It's more easier. It leaves my brain free to think of dumb shit to write. See, sometimes when I used to have to make the tracks and shit, make beats, I didn't strain my brain on the whole listening to loop shit. So I could be listening to loops or listening to shit for like fucking 5 hours. Not that it's really gonna take that long, but I'm just saying. So now you finally find whatever you think is whatever. You put the shit together. That could take some time. So your brain, you're still using the same brain power. So them same 4 spliffs I done smoke, my brain done fried that on just half of the process of making a beat. So now I gotta do that all over again.
Right.
I had to find a better system. So now I got that. I got Team Demo, which I've been with since 2002. And I just put the band back together, me and Big Ezo. So we got that. Then we got fucking Lord Kassim down there. So when he get his shit, so I got a group of people that I don't have to, you know, go looking for I ain't gotta go looking for no tracks, bro.
Right.
At all. Like, and that's the shit that's beneficial to me right now.
Getting back to your discography, you came off that classic '94 Ready to Die album. What was the game plan going into Sittin on Chrome?
I didn't like Sittin on Chrome. I hated it. And that was basically the demise of the group. That's basically what brought everything to a crumble, because it was creative differences between us going in the route of B-side, where you're featuring more of Paula and myself and getting us ready to launch into our solo careers, than trying to, per se, cater to the West Side, which wasn't a bad thing, but we kind of like was already doing that. So I thought that a fine line between that is we need to start shifting a little bit more to the East. And that probably would have been me and Paula. So once that didn't happen, you know, like we should have did a video for B-side, should have did a video for Maintain, and also video for the Mind with the Cellar Dwellers. We should have did that as well, and we didn't. So, you know, once I saw that, you know, I was already booing Sittin on Chrome from the beginning. The title song, I didn't even like it. It just sounded like some robotic, like just sounded like some shit that he was trying to do. He was reaching for some shit that he didn't really have to reach for.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing was like a, you know, it was like some sour grapes. I ain't really fuck with it at all. You can see, I don't even show no qualms. You could just look at the fucking Sittin on Chrome video. Look at me sitting in the BMW. Just look at my fucking mannerisms. I'm like, whatever. Like you can see it compared to now. You go to Born to Roll, when you see us in the street and you see us, you know, I got the football jersey on, and you know I'm in the street in LA. It's a whole different thing. You see Sittin on Chrome, I'm like, even I.N.C ride, I'm a little bit, you know, whatever. But Sittin on Chrome, totally like, the fuck, this is bullshit. Like,
right.
But you know, people didn't know at that time. You know, you can't. There's only so much you can do. It wasn't my show. I was a part of it. Now I run my show. This is my show. What I say goes. So it doesn't matter about all that other shit.
How long after the album dropped did you guys decide to go your separate ways?
It was all happening simultaneously. It's like it was starting to deteriorate, like basically by like the tail end of recording of the album. You could, you know, because at that time too, you had to realize I was working on getting a solo deal too. So my thoughts and my process and everything else was kind of like shifting into being more concerned about what I was about to do. Not that I wasn't focused on the group, because I still was a team player, but you know, in the sense of being there, performing, not missing shows, you know, doing that type of shit. Even though we was having the creative differences, it still was the other sides. There's two sides to it. You know, you still gotta be the I.N.C, but internally the I.N.C is starting to break apart. You know, but we can't actually show that shit. You know, if that was happening now, oh man, it would have been Twitter bombs. It would have been all type of shit. Everybody would have known what was going on, because we got Instagram, we got Twitter, we got Facebook. So a lot of the vent and a lot of the other shit would have been probably channeled through there. So people would have been knowing what was going on and been talking about this shit. Like, yo, son, you heard what this nigga Digga said? Oh, yo, it would have been crazy. So yeah.
Also, the same year, you've got to work with the late, great Old Dirty Bastard on the Brooklyn Zoo remix. Can you take us back to that session, and how did you land that placement?
My bro Orlando again, who was Ace's basically A&R at Delicious Vinyl, he had ties inside with Elektra and a couple of other labels that he was working, because he was also a DJ too on record pools and shit like that of that nature. So he was playing a couple of things and you know, putting our names out there as well, because he was acting like sort of kind of like our manager at that time, like just trying to get us different shit. I did some shit for the brass jazz label that he was working with. So in line with that, he you know, started hearing about stuff. He was like, yo, you know, Old Dirty Bastard gonna need a remix for Brooklyn Zoo. And I'm like, Like, we're not Wu-Tang, so that's so far-fetched. Like, we're not getting that. Like, whatever. So he gets the fucking, back then, you know, you used to get the vocals with the MIDI time code on a DAT. So they send us the acapella vocals, MIDI time code, shit on a DAT. And we would go and just start formulating shit around his vocals and seeing what sounds good, because the vocals you know how this shit goes. So it's like we trying to find something to match that. Shane, you don't want to get shot. So we thinking about all of these things that he's doing and changing, and this is like, so it's either gonna have to be something that's continuous where he can, all that shit will just ride on it, or you know, it's gonna have to be something choppy. So we actually did 2 joints. The funny story about that shit is that I never liked the second one. Dante Ross, who was the A&R at the time, he liked the second version, yet the version that I never got to hear. He liked that first. I liked what we got to hear. So what happened was I purposely finagled the numbers on the SP1200. I moved the numbers, 2 numbers in to make the loop not loop properly while I was playing with the vocals, because we're running it live before we lay it. So we're running it, we hitting run stop, and playing the tape. The shit comes on, let me love you. So it's, you know, it's playing, so it's syncing up, but I know at some point it's gonna fall off. So we listen to the whole song all the way through to make sure, because this is a remix. So, you know, we're going to make sure that this shit is locked in and it's good. So I fuck with the numbers. So I knew at some point it was going to tail off. So it started to tail off, and I just looked at Dante. See, I told you, like, it wasn't really linking up and locking up like the other one. He's like, yo, try it again. He not knowing. I'm like, yo, look, I'm telling you, like, this, I ain't do nothing with, yo, look, this is the same this. He said, yo, that's the same shit. You hear it? He said, yo, I really like this one, man. Yo, see if you can make it work. So I kept doing it, kept fucking with it. So about an hour in, he was like, man, let's try the other one. He just got exhausted and gave up. I was like, yes. and that's how it started. That's how we got it. I put the numbers back the right way. He didn't see that quick change. Put it back the right way and just hit it. Flame. Doom, 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 doom. And that was the start of it.
Nice.
I mean, just genius ideas. I'm just trying to make a way. I'm trying to make everybody happy here. See, if I didn't do that, what the fuck would y'all have gotten?
Nothing.
No, you would have got the other fucking beat, and y'all would have been like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, you'd have been like, it's all right. So, yeah, I had to make that move. It's just certain little things in hip-hop you don't know. You're learning now from the inside what actually happened to get that, to get to where it was. I'm just trying to help, man. Do my part.
Yeah. In '96, you worked with the Cellar Dwellers. Did that relationship start from working with them on Sittin on Chrome?
It started before that. And I was, you know, a part of just trying to guide them in the right directions. Like, we met, you know, at my bro's crib in the basement. We, like, his crib was like kind of like the melting pot for a lot of motherfuckers that came through there, through his house. And he kept telling me about them. Yo, we gotta know you Cellar Dwellers. He kept telling me, yo, you gotta meet him. And then one day it finally happened. They both was downstairs. And you know, the vibe was like, yo, look, you know, we all hungry MCs from some parts around Flatbush. You know, UG was from Glenwood Houses and shit. So we was all hungry and shit at the same time. And we just started vibing from there. And then, you know, I already had kind of like a little bit of leeway now because I'm A shit, you know, big now. And then, you know, so I had to definitely my foot in a couple of doors that I could pull some puppet strings. So with that being said, that's basically how it happened. You know, Matty C, the same Matt that was working at the Source, and along with Scott Free, they later became A&Rs over at Loud. So now, you know, I'm already done work with Big. I'm already in, I basically lived at the Source. I used to go and smoke weed in the staircase with them. like lunch break. Like, I'm just yo, you good? I'm coming through. So